Please subscribe my channel. I never imagined that a simple joke could destroy a marriage. But now, thinking back, it wasn't really a joke. It was what that comment exposed. My name is Michael. Until that evening, I thought my life with Sarah was solid, steady, and secure. We didn't have that crazy passion anymore, but we were reliable. And I believed that was good enough. Sarah and I had been married for 11 years. We met when we were in our mid-20s, grew our jobs, and purchased a home in a peaceful suburb of Charlotte, North Carolina. We held dinner parties that wrapped up early since everyone felt worn out. It wasn't exciting, but it felt genuine. I put in long hours as a project manager, and she managed a small home decorating company from our house. We worked together smoothly, or at least that's what I believed. That night, we invited friends over. We enjoyed wine and takeout food in a relaxed way afterward. One of the people there was Brian, a college buddy of mine. He was loud, sure of himself, and always drew everyone's focus. Sarah had seen him many times before, and they chatted comfortably. Maybe too comfortably, to be truthful, but I never worried. I figured we had built real trust over the years. As everyone drank more, the talk wandered. Tales became bigger and funnier. Brian shared a silly story from the gym, showing off his muscles like usual, and the group chuckled. Sarah laughed as well, leaning in with sparkling eyes. Then she said it with a light smile. "Well, at least you've always been bigger than Michael." The room fell silent for a moment. Somebody gave an awkward chuckle. My cheeks got hot, but I made myself smile. It was humiliating, of course, but I convinced myself it was only poor humor. People sometimes say dumb things. Then I asked in a calm voice, "How do you know?" Sarah stopped suddenly, not puzzled, but caught. That short pause said more than any fight ever could. She laughed too hard and brushed it aside. "Oh my God, Michael. It was just a joke. Don't be so touchy." Everyone joined in the laughter then. The awkwardness passed for them, but not for me. If this part makes you feel uncomfortable too, hit the like button so this story reaches others who get it. A quiet worry started. I went through the rest of the evening on automatic, smiling, tidying up, agreeing with chatter. But inside, the question kept repeating, "How do you know?" Not why say that, but how do you know? When the guests left, Sarah behaved normally. Too normally. She chatted about her day and asked if I wanted to stream a program. I told her I felt exhausted and headed to bed. I lay awake in the darkness, hearing her tap on her phone. The space seemed tighter. In the following days, I spotted details I had overlooked earlier, like how she turned her phone screen away from me, or how Brian's name popped up in talks more frequently, always in a casual way. I didn't blame her outright. I didn't check her things. I just observed. Share in the comments. Do jokes ever uncover hidden truths? Or are spoken words worthless without clear evidence? One evening, I mentioned that the joke upset me and asked what she really meant. She let out a frustrated sigh. It didn't mean anything. You're overthinking it. But she avoided answering directly. That turned into the usual response, changing the subject, brushing it off, making me seem silly for paying attention. I had trouble sleeping. Trust doesn't shatter with a bang. It wears away slowly. If you've sensed that slow fade before, comment the word clarity down below. About a week passed, and she brought up grabbing coffee with Brian. Just friendly. My stomach nodded, but I agreed. Sure, enjoy yourself. If this seems like a key moment, think about passing this story to someone who knows how trust falls apart. That evening, lying by myself, I faced a truth I had dodged. Even if nothing physical occurred, something personal already had. Respect had faded. Lines had become unclear. Before going on with the story, tell me below, was keeping silent a sign of strength or an error? I told myself that waiting showed grown-up patience, that jumping in too soon would just cause unnecessary trouble. Guys are often raised to handle unease without complaining, to need solid proof before following gut feelings. So I waited, holding the burden by myself, telling myself that suspicion without facts was only fear dressed as reason. That idea kept me quiet, even while the gap between Sarah and me grew too wide to miss. Staying silent felt less risky than seeking answers, but I would learn soon that false safety can hide danger. Back then, I didn't realize this was just the start. I still hoped openness would win out. I was mistaken. The coffee meetup was on a Thursday. Sarah said she'd be gone for about an hour. She returned almost 3 hours later, with a faint scent of cologne that wasn't mine. She spoke quickly, explaining too much, as if rushing words could hide the truth. I paid attention, nodding, storing every detail. I wasn't mad yet. I was careful. That night, once she dozed off, I did what I never expected. I looked at her phone. I didn't search deeply. I didn't have to. The texts weren't outright romantic, but they weren't innocent either. Late night teasing, private jokes, a closeness that shouldn't exist between a wife and her husband's pal. One text caught my eye. From the dinner night. "You really shouldn't have said that, LOL." Her response came right away, "I know." I didn't think. She didn't think, or she didn't mind. I placed the phone back precisely and stared at the ceiling until dawn. I saw then that the joke wasn't an accident. It was a slip. Built-up pressure always escapes through a weak spot. The following night, I asked her to talk. No raised voices, no blame, just the truth. I repeated calmly, "Sarah, how did you know?" She seemed weary, not remorseful, more bothered. "Why are you dragging this out?" "I'm asking a straightforward question." Quiet hung heavy between us. Then she admitted, not straight out, but near enough. "Brian and we chatted, flirted a bit. It wasn't serious. You're blowing it up too much." The words hit hard. I asked if it had gone further. She paused. That was my confirmation. I got up not to storm out, but to get air. "You humiliated me in front of others. You stepped over a line. And rather than admit it, you made me feel dumb for seeing it." She rolled her eyes. "So what? You're ready to ruin our marriage over a joke?" "No," I replied softly. "I'm ending it because you lost respect for me well before that joke." She laughed, sharp and unbelieving. "You're overreacting." That's when understanding hit me clear. Overreacting is what people claim when they want to avoid responsibility. I said I needed room and stayed with my brother for a while. I didn't demand divorce. I didn't plead. I offered her what she acted fine with: space. The time apart felt odd. Calm even. I saw how stressed I'd been, how much effort I'd put into shrinking myself to keep peace. Sarah messaged once, then again, then turned angry when I replied slowly. Losing grip feels strange on the other side. A week on, she wanted to meet and discuss. I said yes. She said sorry in a way. She claimed she missed me. Said Brian was only a temporary fun escape, that she never planned to harm me. I heard her out fully. Then I posed one final question. If I hadn't caught on, would you have ended it? She stayed silent. That said plenty. I told her we were finished. Not with rage, but with calm acceptance. I made clear that trust goes beyond staying faithful. It's about caring, about not making your spouse the butt of a joke. She wept real tears then, but too delayed. The divorce wasn't full of drama. It hurt, sure, but it was straightforward. Brian vanished from our circle entirely. I learned later he attempted to justify himself, but I ignored it. Certain excuses aren't worth hearing. Time went by. My days became calmer, better. I rested easier. I could laugh freely without wondering who noticed. I realized that shame doesn't only stem from cheating. It can come from remaining where you aren't appreciated anymore. I hold no grudge against Sarah. I don't dwell on the joke now. I see it clearly for what it was, a warning I nearly missed. If this conclusion shifts your view on respect in relationships, like this story, leave your views in the comments and subscribe for more true tales that dive into trust, limits, and the choices that shape us.